Hey everyone, it is August 14th, y'all know, my sister's birthday. It's August 14th, 2022 right now. I'm outside, have the in-laws here. Steph actually gave birth to JJ. She's now 3 weeks old, plus a day, I think, July 23rd. But I thought I'd do, this is gonna be just a general property update. And I'm also gonna go down to the middle of the property to kind of show you, because I haven't really shown yet what's going on down there. It's kind of overgrown right now, but there's going to be some spraying that gets done here pretty shortly to knock all that back down. But I figure until then, we'll go ahead and do another property update here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out here with the plants. I planted a lot more. The water starting tray, I figured out it's not really that great for a whole lot of things unless you have a heating pad. One thing that finally happened, can you see it right there? That guy right there, that's a seedless watermelon. So seedless watermelon, in case anybody is wondering, are notoriously bad germination. They're telling me it's like, after doing some research, they're like, yeah, it's like 10%. I'm like, well, okay, because nothing was coming up. And then we have a carrot here. So these two are both seedless watermelons. I have a total of 1, and I have 5 in each one. And we have a cucumber here. And we have 2 tomato plants. They're doing really nice. And then I planted a bunch of, so what these two are is these are the new tomatoes. These are Roma tomatoes. I just planted them like 2 days ago. So I'm not expecting anything out of them. And then these 3 here, this one, and this one, they're all the triple sweet corn that I just planted 2 days ago, same as the tomatoes there. So nothing has happened yet. They're probably germinating in there. But I'm not expecting to see any movement for another day or two. I'm going to be gone in Minnesota and Michigan all week. And then this is the first one that I planted. Obviously, he's doing really nice. This one, the smaller one, was planted a week later. And then these guys, these 2 right here were planted about the same time, like a week after. And this one, and this one were all planted a week after that. So you can see they're kind of stepping through. And then 2 more of the triple sweet right here that haven't come up. And we have pole beans, green beans. And I planted 5 per container. This one, and I planted them directly because the water tray does not work on these. It just rots them. So this, I planted in these, and I planted 5 per. And so 4 came up in that one. 4, that last 4th one all the way in the back there, he just came up. 4 in that one, and then 3 in this one. That's all right though. That's a pretty good rate. And then and this guy's finally starting to do something. This is the one that hasn't grown. This is a clementine tree, and this is one that hasn't really grown a whole lot. But if you look here, he's starting to put on additional shoots, and it's kind of hot today, so they're kind of, limp a little bit here. The one thing that I am a little concerned about is these leaves do not look like these leaves or any of the other leaves. So I'm a little concerned that this isn't exactly a clementine tree, but we'll find that out probably next year. But as you can see, these clementine trees are just getting massive. They're doing really nice, really nice. That's the only one that's kind of lagging behind, but the others are doing really good. And including this, I mean, just look at how much, like, none of this was here, that wasn't there. And not only is this here, but this was really flimsy. Now it's getting to be pretty robust now. And the lawn's coming in, it's filling in. Obviously there's still open spots there, and these will grow in quite a bit still. But I mean, all of this did have a lot of open spots, and it's starting to fill in very, very nicely. You can see down here all the runners that are coming across, and it'll just be a matter of time before they, all the runners are coming across. They're gonna go in. By the way, you see all this weed here, it's all low level. It's called spurge, and that's gonna get addressed here in about 20 minutes. So we're kind of doing the edge of the property here, and again, there's the fence line all the way out in there. That's kind of bad. That's all right though. I'll get that taken care of. I'm gonna round up the heck out of that here pretty soon. And we're gonna come up to the blackberries here. And the blackberries, and you can see what's going on here. So we got these guys. These are just going all over the place. I ended up putting this coated wire netting all over the place here. And the reason why I did that was because this was just going all over and I didn't know what to do with it. And I didn't want to put a bunch of permanent things in there. So I decided, you know what? I already have these here. I'm just going to make wire go across and have everything have kind of like an elevated thicket, blackberry thicket. And so that's what I'm doing. You can see this isn't coming from this plant. It's actually coming from that over there. And so this elevated thicket's doing really nice. It'll be easy for picking next year. I'll be able to come right down here and pick everything off. So these are all going to put on just tons of fruit. And you can see this, so this is doing really nice. I think after some of this stuff grows across on the lower level, then I'm going to raise it up and do a cross on the upper level. That should be nice for harvesting next year. And then all of these blueberries are just doing great. You can see, you know, a bunch of new leaves coming up all over on all of them. All over on all of them. These are, you can't see as well, but even these are starting to branch out a lot more. Like none of this was here. This guy doesn't have anything growing on the back of him, but out on the front, he's got a lot there. But everything's still doing really happy. And these kiwi, and as you can see, the kiwi now have these big long guys growing up the top here, and he's looking for something. He's actually, yeah, he's about tall enough now where I can stretch him over there, because once he gets a hold of something, he's going to take off. And oh, there's another one right there getting ready to take off. So these vines are just all over the place, but I don't know if you can see this very well, but it's that nice, real pretty red color. I think it's really good looking. This plant isn't doing as well right now, but it's still doing okay. It's not doing as well. You can tell by the other one, it's just full and it's put on a whole bunch of new leaves, and the leaves have gotten bigger. This one, not so much, but it's still doing all right. It looks like it'll make it though. Yeah, it'll make it. So we're gonna look through here. The dog died. Sapphire. Oh, she's okay. And just got done mowing yesterday. And by the way, in case anybody didn't know, this was a plum tree, and I'm going to start taking care of that next year. This year, let's take a look what happened. Japanese beetles just tore the heck out of it. Just absolutely massacred this thing. And I didn't even know it because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't even know that was a plum tree until mother-in-law, Joyce, she actually came out here. She had an app and she scanned the leaves, and I'm like, oh, it's a plum tree. And then sure enough, as soon as I found that and I got the Japanese beetles off of it, it became like, oh, okay, well, I guess it does put on plums. Just usually the Japanese beetles kill everything every year. So I got something for them. I got them all taken care of. This is that big open spot, a couple mushrooms right in the middle. This big open spot where a stump was, it's growing in nicely. Again, I don't know if it's going to make it all the way this year, but this was about double this size just about a month ago. And so it's growing in very nicely. And did decide that back in this corner is going to have 2 pawpaw trees. Now, pawpaw trees, they don't use honey, or they don't use honeybees or bees or any type like that for pollination. What they do is they have purple flowers, and these purple flowers apparently look like, and apologize for anybody watching this, rotting flesh. And because it uses pollination via flies, and so it smells like rotting flesh, and the flowers look like purple, like flesh, and to attract the flies there for pollination. That doesn't sound very appetizing. So you know what? How about in the front corner far away from the house, let's put it if it's going to smell like rotting flesh whenever it puts on flowers. So not necessarily the greatest plan as far as Mother Nature is concerned, but it works. And then these trees are all coming out, we decided. Every single one of these Bradford pears. And then this, which is an Empress tree, which grows very, very fast. Doesn't do a whole lot. It provides really good shade, but it's just way too invasive. Like, it drops and it starts growing stuff everywhere. And I want to get that all out. And then this right here along this fence row, which is in sun, that's going to be a Honeycrisp apple tree, a Candy Crisp apple tree. It's a sweeter version of a Honeycrisp, and Granny Smith apple tree, and then probably a couple pears, and probably a couple of maybe apricot, but definitely a couple others. I'm not really sure everything else that's going on, but I'm talking about it, and we're trying to work through it, what we use more and what we don't use. So I'd like to have as much as possible. And the fence is still on order. If anybody that's been watching this, still isn't there, so we're still using a construction fence. And this is the lawn now. This is something I'm going to spray because there's tons of crabgrass in there, and there's regular grass too. You can see where it's all at, but there's a lot of crabgrass in there that I need to go and spray because it just robs away nutrients from everything else. By the way, I have two different types of crabgrass here. This is one. That type is the large crabgrass, and the other one I'm not seeing right now, but there's 3 types that grow in the south, and I have 2 of them in here. So how did I get so lucky? But as you can tell, this has grown in quite a bit better together, to the point where a lot of it, the rows are starting to grow in, completely bridge the gap and grow together. And that's what I was looking for, and I knew it was going to happen. It just takes a little bit of time. That's all. I still got the hydrangea over there by the trash bins, and decided to get trash bins because now that we have an extra little girl, she produces quite a bit of trash. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get a trash service. What I used to do is once every month and a half, we put it in a little building, the trash in a little building, and then once every month and a half, I would run it back to the convenience center. Well, that's not horribly efficient because now it would have to be like every 3 weeks. Well, I don't want to do that. And so you know what? It's $34 a month. We'll just do the trash pickup. And this is the in-laws vehicle right here, their truck. And then the tractor right here with the sprayer. I'm going to use that, and we're going to do a video, certain chemicals to work for in the grass. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and I'm going to walk, jump on the other side here, and then and we'll do just a little bit of a tour down there so you can see what's going on. All right, I just jumped through the tiny house here so that way I wouldn't have to open any gates. Another implement here. And it's actually got quite a few different positions on the top, as you can tell. You can move it side to side. You can actually swing it out to the right and to the left. And then there's you can tilt also. It's kind of nice. But that Empress tree that I was telling you on the front, here's what it does. It drops nuts, and these things can grow in a little bit of nothing. So these are new trees that are putting on. And as you can tell over there at the base, there's a bunch of new trees that are coming on. And there was one over there that ended up coming up. And it's way too invasive. I don't like it. And plus, I think we're gonna have to put Starlink right here on top of the tiny house. And if we do that, these are gonna be right in the way. So I think they're gonna have to come out. I'm tired of looking at them too. I have a feeling a greenhouse is gonna go out in here somewhere also. But anyway, so we're gonna keep walking around here just a little bit. And we're not gonna go horribly far. You can see there's the construction fence right there. And you see this is where trees used to be, that all the roots are still underground. These are all gonna come up. I'm gonna end up probably chopping those up with the, and this is how bad this ground is. There's just random bricks. There's random everything just all over the place. And I've been in the top part of the property was like that too, but I've been cleaning it up. You know, yeah, I've just been cleaning it up over the course of 2 years. It just takes a while to go, clean up 100 feet of property. It takes a little bit of time because they were just never taking care of it at all. And so there's the end of the fence right down there. And then with the end of the fence, it comes right down through here, and you notice that tree is right in the way of where the fence is gonna be. So that's perfectly fine. That tree's gonna come out. Not this one right in the middle here, but that one behind it there. And you can see, and this is neighbor's property, and there's our fence line that goes all the way down through there. And I cleared out a lot of this. I wasn't able to walk back through here. I cleaned a lot of this out with the tractor. There's still obviously some work that needs to be done to get this all out of here, but this is way better than it was. I mean, way better than it was. But yeah, so there's the edge of the property line. And from here, so this fence comes down 250 feet. So from the end of this fence, straight down this fence line, 500 feet more is where the end of our property is at. And so we're gonna come over here, and I'm just gonna show you a little bit. I don't wanna get in too far because I know that we do have ticks in here, and look how tall this stuff is. That's just no fun. I'm not gonna go walking in that. And actually we're gonna cut back across. I don't wanna even attempt walking through there. I don't want to take off my shirt tonight and then have a bunch of ticks all over the place. And the front fence, when we put in this front fence, there was already a front fence there that wasn't doing very well. And so there's the remnants of it. Concrete, just use the tractor to pop out all the posts. The bucket threw a chain around it, around each post, and just lifted it up. So, and it's a good thing I bought the size of tractor I did, because if it would have been a smaller tractor, it would have never worked. And here's the edge of the fence on this side. And this one, actually, we'll go look at this one. If you come over here, we have the exact same problem. A tree right in the fence line. So that tree has to come out. And I already marked it out with the pink flags where the next posts are supposed to go to. That's where we're at here. Now this is where the tractor usually lives. I'm gonna move it back here today. But that little building right on the other side, that's where I've been keeping all the trash. Now, I know I told you greenhouse over there in a previous video, but I think since we're not gonna be keeping trash in here anymore, and this is a very solid building here, I think we're gonna turn that into a greenhouse. Now it's fully dark, and that's fine because I'm gonna put grow lights in it. And the grow lights will negate the need for, and this is a good sized building. It's like it looks like a 12 by 12 to me. If it's 12 by 12, that's a really good size, and I can get a bunch of stuff in there and get water out here to it and everything else. But I think that's what we're gonna use this for, is for a greenhouse, grow lights, and I'm gonna invert the time that the lights are on, so it'll be on during the winter. The lights will be on at night, because those lights put out a decent amount of heat, and then shut them off during the day. And I'm gonna have a heater on the thermostat, to keep it warm during the day. So we're just gonna invert nights and days, since it doesn't care anyway. So, and you can see all of this I moved out. There was a whole bunch of stuff in here. I ended up getting that all out of there. I mean, it's just growth that doesn't do anything. It's weeds, it's blah, blah, blah. It's not good stuff. And this pile right here, I'm just gonna have to get roll-off containers for all these logs that were dropped and just piled over there. I wanted to do something with them, but there's nothing I can do with them. I mean, there's really not. They're all rotted for the most part now. They're just hosting all kinds of wildlife in there probably. And this guy, well, we have an old well right here that I need to get hooked up. Apparently it still works. It just needs power to it. And then this tree right here is a fig tree, the biggest fig tree I've ever seen. And I haven't even been trimming it back here, but it puts out tons of figs, like probably at least 4 or 5 bushels of figs. The problem with figs are, down at the bottom, there's a little opening that when they get ripe, what happens is that they release a little bit of nectar out of that, so you know they're ripe. The problem is honeybees see that, and they're all over that tree, to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna fight them. If they want the tree, they can have it. I'm not a big fig fan anyway, so that pretty much, I relinquish that to any honeybees and squirrels and birds and anybody that wants it. So, and a little bit of a burn pile right there. And that's kind of the middle of the property. So I'm out here right now. Like I said, this is Sunday. I'm just heading back up to the tiny house. So going to end up spraying all this out here today. And after I get done spraying it, and I'm going to go through what I use exactly. It works really nicely. Well, this out here, all this stuff, I just Roundup. Well, glyphosate anyway. I don't pay the extra money for Roundup. But for the grass over there, where there's a whole bunch of other stuff growing up, not tons of weeds, but enough that I'm going to hit it. And it's a combination of mesotrione and the Trimex Southern. And it seems to work pretty well. So I like 2 applications, and it pretty well kills everything except for the centipede grass. But I have to mix it a little bit heavier than what the directions say. Otherwise, it doesn't kill everything very well. So that's the update for Sunday, August 14th, Sister Shauna's birthday. So hope everybody has a good week. Bye.